All right, guys. Thank you for the first 5x5, Mr. Mike, without even being on. Thank you, as always. Let's see. Strange. Oh, all right, there it is. Mr. Landfill, thank you for that. These ads are so damn annoying. Oops, the ads are annoying. Like I say, I look at them and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, yo, they're fucking out of control. Anyway, shout out Prepper, WTC, Glock 316. Thank you for the 5x5. Mike M, thank you for the 5x5. Loretta, Mad Max, Cat Lady, thank you for the 5x5. Appreciate it. Oh, whatever. It's going to take a while. So, let's get it on. Let's get this started. I want to try to keep this to 20 minutes. So, again, guys, for those of you that are new to this, we're talking about other things that are going on besides like prepper shit and political shit. We'll talk about, things that we missed or might not have been focused on, whatever it is. So, let's get it started. Thank you for the 10x10. And Amanda, thank you for the 5x5. Prepper Revelator, thank you for that. So, let's start off with something a little, I guess, lighthearted. Not lighthearted, but weird. So anyway, mystery creature spotted after blood-sucking livestock death spree. So a mysterious creature has been sighted in Bolivia amid reports of dead livestock with their blood allegedly sucked dry, sparking fear that the mythical demon is rampaging through the region. The mythical demon is called the Chupacabra, right? For those that might not know. Videos have alleged a mythological menace. It's currently blowing up online. So there is a video of this creature running through the field. The mystery sighting coincides, with the death of several cows, llamas, and alpacas in the area. So this has been going on forever. I've seen this.
All right, you guys keep asking.
I've seen this time and time again. This reporting of livestock being sucked dry always pops up every now and again. So this is nothing new, but I thought that, it's worth talking about. Greenleaf says portals are beginning to open. Those portals have been open for a long time. JD, I think reading about the Trump shit, it looks like they're gonna make it happen. They're gonna keep him. They're gonna find him guilty. That makes sense. Sorry, guys. Just fucking going back and forth. So, let's keep going. In a chilling drone footage snapped near the city of Aru, a shadowy, seemingly bipedal figure can be seen, strolling through an open field in a scene straight out of M. Shyamalan's thriller Signs. Whatever. Bad fucking comparison. The mysterious sighting coincides with the death of... Right. So, sorry about that. So, this thing particularly sucks on the neck. Causes a neck wound that leads officials or locals to believe that they've been killed by the Chupacabra, a vampiric demon from Latin America lore that embodies the blood of livestock. Hence its colloquial name, the goat sucker. According to the crypto zoological canon, this mystical plasma pharisee boast. Sorry. Whatever. Bottom line, guys, is that they think that this is the chupacabra, and they have drone footage of this thing running across the field. Again, I find that very, very interesting. When you look at the footage, I couldn't load it up today. When you look at the footage, it's it's weird. It's a weird looking thing. So I'm not saying that it was it, but there was definitely a creature that didn't look normal. I'm not going to say, it looked like a dehydrated animal running. But again, it being in the same area as these livestock are being drained of blood, there's got to be some truth to it somewhere. Somewhere in there, there's truth, So anyway, nonetheless, the latest alleged attack prompted local farmers to erect fences around their livestock because it can't jump over to protect their livestock from the supposed blood-sucking demon. There's not much you can do if this thing is a blood-sucking demon. I'm pretty sure a fence is the least of its problems. So it's going to be able to do other things if it's a demon. So that being said, guys, I thought that was a pretty interesting story. Now, here's a more gruesome story. Mother and daughter allegedly butchered their grandmother or grandma with a chainsaw and then tried to grill her body parts. Now, when I saw the grilled body parts, I'm like, were they trying to eat her? No, it gets, not that it gets better, it gets worse. So a twisted Maryland mom and daughter are charged with dismembering the family's matriarch with the chainsaw, then grilled the body parts to get rid of them following a fight about credit cards. This is what the cops are saying. Margaret Craig, 71, has been dead for more than a week when police made the gristle discovery Friday at the Kins Hill Road home in Landover, I guess Maryland, during a welfare check. I didn't know they still did welfare checks. Whatever. All right. When the officers entered the basement, they immediately smelled the odor of a decomposing body. This is Prince George's County Police Department in the statement. The preliminary investigation conducted by homicide detectives had determined that Margaret's daughter, 44, Candace Craig, allegedly killed her mother May 23rd. The following day, the 19-year-old daughter gets involved. Celia Hardy allegedly helped Craig dispose of her grandmother's body. According to police, Craig answered the door and allowed police to look for the older woman. Why would you do that? If you knew you did this to your grandmother or your mother, why would you open the doors allowing the cops to come in and smell the smell of death? That is an unmistakable fucking smell. So in the basement, guys, they observed blood and tissue on the floor near 3 white plastic bags. Why wouldn't you clean that up? Listen, I'm not rooting for them. I'm not. I'm not rooting for the bad guys, but like they're just certain things, man. When you do it, you got to be more. I don't know. I guess thank God for stupid people so they can get caught for dumb shit like this. But whatever. The cops said they also found what appeared to be brain matter inside one of the bags and noticed a knife on the floor, which later vanished. Additional cutting instruments, the cover of a chainsaw, and cleaning materials and blood splattered were observed throughout the cellar, reeking putrefaction, which is the smell, the smell of that lady's body. This doesn't sound right, because blood splatter, chainsaws, it sounds like it was a fucking chainsaw massacre party. When interviewed by detectives, Hardley, the daughter, allegedly told them that her grandmother had accused the mother of credit card fraud and threatened to turn her into police. The two women began to argue, which dispute escalated into a physical attack that resulted in Margaret, the grandmother, dying. Which no one indicates how the woman actually died. The grandmother, that is. Sorry. The next day, Hardley comes over, discovers the grandmother's body, stuffed inside a blue plastic container in the bedroom, and allegedly helped her mother get rid of it after she saw the body in the blue tub, if you will, or the blue container. After that, Candace Craig, the mother, and her daughter dismembered the body, I believe using a chainsaw, then attempting to dispose of the body parts using fire on a grill and in a bonfire. So they tried to burn the body parts. They couldn't do it. That's another horrendous smell. I'm surprised no one called to be like, yo, they're cooking some bad meat over there. This is really bad. So by the time the police arrived 10 days later, the rotting remains that have been mutilated beyond recognition, and that's where the smell comes from 10 days later. But prosecutors said that they are confident that the DNA testing will confirm that the body parts found at the crime scene belong to the grandmother. No fucking shit. I'm gonna go on the assumption that if the grandmother was supposed to live there and now she's not there and there's body parts there, doesn't take a rocket science to figure this shit out. Anyway, guys, 4 kids lost in the jungle for 40 days after a plane crash found alive in Colombia. I thought this was going to be a movie, by the way. The 4 kids that were found in the jungle after a plane crash. After 40 days. Now, the kids look emaciated. Apparently they were drinking water, but they weren't eating. So, good for them. And one of them, I think, was an 11-month-old that was still alive. Anyway, Colombian President Gustavo Petro said Friday that authorities found alive 4 children who survived a small plane crash 40 days ago and had been subject of intense search in an Amazon jungle that held Colombians on edge. The children were alone when searchers found them and were now receiving medical attention. Signs of ceasefire agreement. Okay, so this is interesting. Petro told reporters upon his return to Bogota from Colombia, where he signed a ceasefire agreement with representatives of a National Liberation Army rebel group, I guess to find the kids. The president said that the youngsters are an example of survival and predicted their saga will remain in history. So these kids, guys, are going to go down in history as the best survivalists ever. Granted that they didn't eat for 40 days, but they survived off of water. They had to have. And again, one of the kids in the picture, man, he looked like death. Like death was knocking on the door for this kid. But anyway, the crash happened early hours of May 1st when the Cessna single-engine propeller plane with 6 passengers and the pilot declared an emergency landing because of engine failure. The children's age are 13, 9, 4, and 11 months, are members of the Hututu people, never heard of that, who've been traveling with their mothers from the Amazonian village of Aracua to San Jose del Gustavo, whatever, when their plane went down May 1st. During the intense search through the thick foliage and grueling conditions, soldiers dropped boxes of food in the forest for the siblings' survival, in case they came across it. Rescues also included volunteers from indigenous tribes used megaphones to play recording of their grandmother's voice so that the kids would recognize it and come out of the bush. This is like some Lord of the Flies meets alive, except for they didn't eat anybody and the kids weren't being savages. But the plane went down in the middle. This is going to be an awesome movie. But leave it to Hollywood to up the ante with this story. But nonetheless, this should be a very good movie if they do it right. Anyway, officials said the oldest of the 4 children possessed the knowledge on how to survive in the rainforest. This is why you teach your kids survival skills. The 13-year-old was the one that held them all together and had them survive. Now, maybe they did eat. Maybe they did. But I think this is pretty cool. I'm Colombian and I don't believe the story. Album, listen, when I first read the story, I was a little skeptical myself. And then I saw the kids and I'm like, okay, maybe. Yeah, but you're right, Alba. I was a little skeptical about it too. Just because when I first read it, I'm like, this is bullshit. 4 kids and an 11-month-old? And then I saw the picture of them. I'm like, unless somebody was starving them out, they did good. But anyway, the oldest of 4, After the children were rescued Friday, they were wrapped in thermal blankets, yada, 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 taken to a military base, and now they're in a hospital, getting treated. So, let's see. What else do we have? We have 2 more stories. Ladies, this is a quick story for you guys. I think some of you know this one already. But women who start birth control as a teen have a 130% higher chance of depression. Women taking an oral contraceptive pill may have increased risk of depression, especially shortly after starting the pill. So your depression, increases 130 times when you start as a teen. Just keep that in mind, especially if you guys have daughters and you're looking for them to take birth control, which at this point, I don't think it's worth it. I think this plays into postpartum depression. I think. Anyway, because postpartum depression, guys, is at an all-time high. Why are so many women suffering from postpartum depression and killing themselves, killing their kids? It has increased over the last 10 years. My mother, she's like, postpartum depression? Fuck that. She says, I had you guys, dropped you out of my vagina, went back to work. I was like, okay. But increasingly now, we have a higher rate of postpartum depression. I wonder if this is playing a role into it. Anyway, women taking contraceptives, that's one of the findings from a large study of more than 264,000 women, which also finds that teenage girls are at a higher risk. In fact, women who were teenagers when they began to use birth control had a 130% higher chance of depression. This came out of a 2016 report from JAMA Psychiatric, I never heard of them, revealed that the use of hormonal contraceptives was often linked to a subsequent use of prescription antidepressants and diagnosis of depression. Very interesting. I find that to be very, very interesting. All right. What the fuck, man? It's always one thing or the other with these apps. Sorry. All right. Sorry about that. So just keep that in the back of your head, ladies, when you are looking to start your kid on contraceptives or hormonal contraceptives, because this can play hell on their emotional, psychosis. Sorry, what is PCOS? Yeah, what is PCOS? What is PCOS? Caused by pharma or chems? Oh, no shit. All right. Thank you for that tidbit information. All right, guys. So a more sadder story, if you will. High school footballer Jordan DeMay was driven to suicide because of the Nigerian scam. Now, I thought the Nigerian scam, I'm thinking one thing, the woman who's trapped in Nigeria because a prince is holding her hostage. Please send me money so you can pay for my ransom so I can get out of here. I thought it was that. Apparently, there's a new Nigerian scam where Nigerians are buying and or stealing or hacking accounts of women, and then the women are reaching out to underage kids and having these underage kids take pictures of themselves nude and in lewd positions. All right. With that, the Nigerian dudes, this is fucking Mobutu's cousins, not directly related to Mobutu, but his cousins, then come out and say, if you don't give us a certain amount of money, whatever that amount of money is, we're going to expose these pictures online. All right. So, Michigan families sounding the alarm about sextortion scam on social media after a Nigerian man allegedly drove their 17-year-old son, a high school football player, to commit suicide. Jordan DeMay, a student at Marquette Senior High School, was found dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound Thursday, March 25th, after he was contacted by an Instagram account that appeared to be from a woman by the username Donnie Roberts. That account was hacked and then sold. The account was hacked and then sold to Samuel Ogushi, a 22-year-old Nigerian who allegedly used a profile to force young men, because he's not the only one, force young men into sending him explicit images of themselves and then extorting those images by stating, if you don't give us a certain amount of money, we're going to release these pictures to your family and on the internet. Very common on IG. Off time. I didn't know that. I didn't know that this one was a particular scam. I had no clue until I read this. I can send this nudes to everyone and also send your nudes until it goes viral, which it probably wouldn't have. Ogoshi allegedly messaged DeMay after the teen sent an explicit photo of himself. Pay me right now. This is Agashi. Pay me right now and I won't expose you. Agashi demanded $1,000, but the kid paid him $300, leading the Nigerian man to threaten to send the pictures to his family and his friends if additional money wasn't sent. Hours later, Jordan DeMay told him he was going to commit suicide. Agashi's response was, "Good, do it fast. I'll make you do it, I swear to God." So here's the kick in the dick. Here's the glorious part about this tragedy. The glorious part about this tragedy is all three men who were involved in this now are being extradited to the United States and will most likely get life in prison. So being that they were in Nigeria, they thought they were safe. Now they're being extradited here, and they're going to spend the rest of their lives in prison. Now, Agashi, which is one of three Nigerian men, is Samson Agashi. He's 20. Ezekiel Elam Roberts is 19. And the third guy is unknown. But these guys have extorted over 100 young men and teenage boys. And apparently they were getting money out of them. So with that, guys, I think this is it sucks that the kid killed himself, but it's glorious that these assholes thought they were safe. And now they're coming here. And now, listen, if they go to a certain prison, I don't know what prison, in Maryland maybe, if fucking the Aryan Nation gets a hold of them, ooh, oh my God! Talk about Rapeville! Holy shit! If they don't gang up, they're toast. So yeah, man. That's the only good thing about this tragedy is that these guys are awaiting extradition. They're actually currently awaiting extradition. And their charges are conspiracy to sexually exploit minors, conspiracy to distribute child pornography, and conspiracy to commit stalking through the internet. And I don't know if they're going to try to charge him with the suicide. I don't know how they would do that, but if they do, great. All right, guys, last story. Saudi Crown Prince threatened major economic pain on the United States amid oil feud. So the Washington Post is reporting that the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman threatened to fundamentally alter the decade-old U.S.-Saudi relationship and impose significant economic costs on the United States if it retaliates against the oil cuts. The United States was pissed about the oil cuts. We all know that the Saudi prince stated they were going to cut back on oil production for the United States. President Biden vowed to impose consequences on Saudi Arabia after slashing oil production last year. Mohammed bin Salman privately threatened to sever ties and retaliate economically, according to a classified U.S. intelligence document. Now, these documents were leaked on Discord. I was like, why out of all places? But nonetheless, these documents ended up there. So, in public, the Saudi government defended its actions politely via diplomatic statements. But in private, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman threatened to fundamentally alter decade-old U.S.-Saudi relationships and impose a significant economic cost on the United States if we retaliate in any way. The Crown Prince claims he will not deal with this administration anymore, that he's done with Biden. I'm wondering if there was another administration in place, would he still be wanting to deal with us? Go figure, huh? This is what happens when you fuck around. Now we're about to find out. So anyway, 8 months later, Biden has yet to impose consequences on the Arabian country, and Mohammed has continued to engage with top U.S. officials, as he did the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, in the seaside Saudi city of Jeddah this week. So he doesn't want to deal with Biden. I think the powers that be, the people who are above Biden, if you will, went to talk to the Saudi prince to smooth things over. Now, it's unclear whether the Crown Prince's threat was conveyed directly to the U.S.'s official or intercepted through electronic eavesdropping. But this dramatic outburst reveals the tension at the heart of a relationship long premised on oil for security, but rapidly evolving as China takes a growing interest in the Middle East and the United States assesses its own interests as the world's largest oil producer. So it looks like people were hot-headed. It looks like people were just throwing threats out there. Again, Biden made a promise that he did not follow through again. And here he is. Again, he made a promise that he was going to sanction consequences, and nothing happened. But the Saudi Arabian prince also didn't follow through as well. So that's a good thing, I guess, right? I guess it's a good thing. But this is something to pay attention to, because if this blows up, this is going to be an issue for us, especially when it comes to gas. We know that we consume a large amount of gas or oil in this country. So if they fuck around with us, we're going to find out, and we're not going to like the results of that. So you could thank President Biden for this mishap. But this is something, again, that we should have in the back of our heads, but not focus too much on. All right, guys. Other than that, I think we're done here. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a live stream tomorrow. I'll find out later today whether or not. But if not, most likely I will have one Tuesday. All right, guys. So other than that, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, rather. Sorry. And I will see you guys either tomorrow or later next week. And don't forget to smash the like button. Thank you, Vision Preparedness.